pleasant good morning, wherever it is you're watching us from. This is right before the headquarters of the Liberia and National Police here on Capitol Hill. My name is Simon Slanger. Currently, let us know the quality of the audio by commenting. Just leave a comment and let us know how good the audio quality is so that we can continue this podcast. Our feedback is very, very important to us. Let us know the quality of the audio. It's good, it is fair, excellent. Currently do so right before the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. As you can see, there aren't many vehicles applying the street. This is a Monday morning. Mondays, as means, is one of the busiest days of all days because people begin work. This is the first day of the working week. But usually on other Mondays you would have seen vehicular traffic all around this end as people making their way to the Charlatan intersection and headed that way. But please let us know the quality of the audio. Just leave a comment. Let us know how good the audio quality is. Choco Plumber is here on camera. What you see in your shots, you see drones of motorcyclists flying the streets freely. This is the main Tottenham Boulevard. This is just at the base of Capitol Hill, the key installation of government ministries and agencies, including the executive mansion. The head of the judiciary is just right here. The Temple of Justice, that is right here, as well as the legislature. So the Capitol Hill area is the concentration of the three arms of government here in Liberia. Tottenham Boulevard is a major road corridor in Monrovia, if not the major road corridor here in Liberia's capital, Monrovia. One or two taxis or commercial vehicles flying the roads. That is because of the ongoing inspection that is being carried out by the Ministry of Transport and the Liberia National Police. But there is another, I don't want to use the word storm, but I will use situation. Another situation that is brewing, and that is the stopping of motorcyclists from flying the main Tottenham Boulevard and other major road corridors. We did see aggrieved motorcyclists staging protest action last week, where again the song has been sung. President we sorry we made mistake in symbolic terms that they thought this unity party-led government would have allowed them the freedom of flying the major road corridors. But we just spoke with sources within the Liberia National Police. There is a major press conference at 11 a.m. The Inspector General of Police, Reverend Coleman, is expected to address that particular press conference as to what the nature of that press conference will be. The authorities of the LNP have remained tight-lipped. But look at the impact of motorcyclists. They've said, look, you cannot stop us. We campaigned. We were there for you during the rain, during the storm of 2023, making sure that we gave you our votes. And to take us away from the few streets means you are taking away a huge chunk of our income as well. This is not what we signed up for. But there are Liberians who are equally of the argument that, look, motorcycles are being used to commit all sorts of crimes. They're unregulated. They do not follow any sort of traffic rules or regulations, and they involve in many of the motor vehicle accidents here in the country by minimizing their movements on the major road corridor. That is going to go a long way by reducing the number of motor vehicle accidents in the country. There are also those who say motorcyclists, they earn an informal way of living from their trade. It can be argued that since the cessation of civil crisis in Liberia, the usage of motorcyclists have become an integral part of our transportation cycles, but they were used by NGOs and other government institutions. The commercialization of motorcyclists and motorcycles in our country has become a thing, a norm, a way of life. Should we be looking at a multi-sectorial approach to the issue of solving the motorcyclists, if you want to call it problem or invasion in this country? If you speak to taxi drivers, they will tell you keke riders and motorcyclists have to some extent put them out of business, as you do not really see taxis or commercial vehicles flying from Singapore to the Jalazan Road to central Monrovia. That has been taken over predominantly by what we call keke or pem-pem, or you can call it tricycles. What do we mean by a multi-sectorial approach? Should we be looking at motorcyclists getting a uniform, motorcyclists making sure that motorcyclists are insured and registered? Should we be looking at color coding? Should we be looking at safety gadgets like helmets, safety gears like helmets, and the rest to make sure that passengers and motorcyclists are safe when they're riding the commercial motorcycles as well? How far is that going to go as compared to prohibiting them from flying the beach streets, which other governments have tried to a large extent, and that was unsuccessful? But the police is going to express, they're going to have their press conference this morning at 11, and we'll definitely be waiting to hear what they'll say. Will they rescind their decision? Are they going to look at it from that aspect of allowing motorcycles to be registered, tinted, safety gadgets and gears, all given to them to allow for passengers to be safe? Or are they going to say, look, we do not want motorcycles flying the main streets? Inspection is ongoing. The number of vehicles, just spin around and let our people see, from police officers to commercial workers, listen and hold that motorcycles to make sure the transport these people to and fro work. It has become so integral that anything you do, if you own a private vehicle, there comes a time that you will definitely own a motorcycle or ride a motorcycle to get to wherever it is you go. Should they remain unregulated? The answer to that question is a no from all sectors. What then can be done? Is it getting them off the streets totally, the major streets totally? Many people argue that will solve the problem. What will solve the problem, has been said by many who have come up with this idea, is let's get them registered, let's get them color coded, let's get them their safety gadgets in place. Let's work with the unions that those who would be part of the motorcyclist unions should have their helmets, should have their safety jackets, should be properly identified, and the big one, the elephant in the room, is whether or not they are going to follow traffic rules and regulations. But we haven't done this. Is identify motorcycle once it's color coded? It's easy to know the rider's number once they have numbers on their jackets or on their bikes. It's easy to be able to calculate. You can even negotiate with those who are selling motorcycles and kekes and hempens in the Ministry of Transport, that before a person takes a motorcycle from the dealership, they should have it registered, insured as well before they get it out of there. Safety gadgets should be bought before they get it out of there. Before you fly the major streets, or before you even put your motorcycle on the road, you should form part of the union, you should be identified, you should be given a number and all of these things. But as you can see, because of the ongoing vehicle inspections, the road is so clear. It's dominated by motorcycles, and at the end of the day, what a political decision is going to be made to give them extension and look into how it can be solved, or rather the LMP is going to go full blast in ensuring that motorcycles can fly the major streets of Sugar. So as I said, I'm here with Chokon Flammer, and Chokon, we're waiting for the press conference of the LMP. But what do you suspect will be embedded or said in that particular press conference or press statement this morning?
Damo, one of the things that I'm anticipating is, like you said, a multi-sectoral approach to this matter. This is crucial. Motorcycle, like you said, plays an integral part in the day-to-day activities of Liberia. Getting from one point to another. Even coming here this morning, I could not use a vehicle because I know there will be traffic, and definitely there was traffic, so I used motorcycle from Pinsville to Central Monrovia. So like you said, we will be looking up to the LMP, maybe to rescind some of those decisions, like getting the motorcycles out of the streets. Just totally, you can try to do it gradually, and we will achieve our goal, because aside from taking motorcyclists off the street, they are in numbers, they are in huge numbers. It poses security threat also. If all the motorcyclists in just Monrovia alone come together and they are saying they're going to protest, even if it is a one-day protest, they will shut down the government, and the government will lose a lot of revenue to this. So what's the need to do that? They are already planning, we heard that they are already planning protests. which the government has to do everything to avoid this, because one day revenue of the government will paralyze the government in some other way. So it is good that the government enforce all of these things down and be able to work along with the various motorcycling unions across the country. I know not only Monrovia, the main route in Monrovia, but some major cities across Liberia will also be affected by these motorcycle regulations in the country. Other countries, you see motorcycles are in a uniform, they have helmets and they have safety boots. They even have helmets for passengers and all of that. But for our country, it's quite difficult. It's different. Maybe we can begin with those regulations. Those motorcyclists who will not adhere to those regulations, definitely you have no right to fly the principal streets.
Yeah, Chopper, so that debate in terms of drop the ball, in making sure that these safety regulations were properly implemented. There are others who are handling that. The early justice regime, to a large extent, were successful in making sure that motorcycles didn't fly the main streets of Monrovia and other main streets of cities in Liberia, and the rear-led government dropped the ball by allowing them to fly the streets. The motorcyclist demographic, those are part of that